Hello, hello. Happy New Year's Eve to everybody. It's not quite midnight. We've got a ways to go here in Arizona, Western United States, but I see Lori. It's so good to have you. Welcome in, everybody. Say hello in the chat. Let us know what you are working on. Holiday evening, there's a lot going on. A lot of my YouTube friends are hosting live streams. So just hop around, say hi to all the different folks. Greenland Quilter, Katie is live right now. And as soon as I end my live stream for my Wednesday sew and chat, I am going to hop over to Stitching Life Together and hang out with Amanda for a little while. And of course, if anything else pops up in the YouTube feed, we will go say hello to all sorts of people. Hello, Dawn. So good to see you. Happy New Year. This is a typical Wednesday night live for me. I am part of the Cotton Cuts team, and we are working on our Under the Sea mystery quilt. This started in the fall of 2025, and I've got these lovely batiks to work on. And it's so funny because I always scramble at the last minute and remember to print out my clue. And I don't want to give anything away, but this is what it looks like. You could, of course, read it off of your device because they deliver everything electronically. Hello, Katie. Good to see you. And, save the paper. I need to send in a suggestion. I'm going to show you just the tip of the page. They print everything with this like gray background behind the words, which just takes up more ink. I'm like, just keep it white and we will all adjust if we need to print it out, because I am of the age that I like a hard copy set of instructions, but I also don't need some of the extra pages. So I do appreciate the digital copies when they send those as well. And Paula is here. Yes, get your sewing space organized. I understand the trials and tribulations of moving. That was a big item for me in 2025 because not directly, we had the indirect move. Mother-in-law, 91 years old, had to move out of her home into an adult apartment complex. Different levels of care. She's at the lowest level. She's very independent. But yes, I know what it takes to go through a lifetime of stuff. And I have goals to get my space organized. I've done a little bit of it, and it's amazing. Even if you just set yourself a goal of 3 foot square area, you can get that done. So it's so good to see you tonight. Paula, Katie, Dawn, and Lori have all said hello in the chat, and I see we've got some additional viewers. I've got a little ticker up on the top of my screen that shows me that people are watching, so that is always nice. It's so fun to hang out with my True Blue crew. If you want some swag, some merch, head over to truebluequilts.com and find that. But I am going to get started. I'm going to dig in here to my clue number 6 for clue number 6 mystery quilt. I always keep my handout that has my color chart. And then we figure out which pieces we need. And I finally, okay, so just a little, behind the scenes, breaking the fourth wall, as they call it in TV film land. And Karen is here. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. I put a new light over here, and it's kind of blinding me. So let me know, because I always, one overhead light in a back bedroom at night gives you weird shadows, but I don't know if that side light is even weirder shadows. So let me know what you think of that new lighting scheme there. But I always like to have this workspace. And I brought up a new table. Let me see if I can, motion warning here, show you my setup off to the side where I've got my Aliso iron on a little table right to the other side. So I have things on both sides of me. San Diego, fun. We've been appreciating all the rain that you are sending east, but I know that it's been probably a little bit north of you, mountains maybe. We're getting all those horrible floods and mudslides and things. Oh, yes. Paula, same type of situation when in-laws have to adjust, or in your case, if they have passed and you're helping clean out their house. Yes, it's definitely a motivation not to leave a mess for your family. And there is Amanda. Hello to you. I better get sewing if I'm going to get anything done. I really like to use this time to keep up with my whips so they don't turn into those years-long UFOs. And so I didn't, let's see, do we have any? Yes, we have A's and F. That is the one thing about this this set of colors, and I'll show it over here, is we have two fabrics here that are just slightly different. One has a little more green, and you can see that kind of speckled, that weird, it almost looks like a stain on that batik. That's the F, and then this that's pure white is the A. So, Amanda, I know you're working with this colorway too. If you're catching up with Cotton Cuts, be careful with A and E on this clue. And then I've got a nice watercolor, and that is going to pair with, so what is this? So these two go together. The white goes with this kind of leafy batik. And then this greeny one goes with my dark. And we're only making two. So let me get those. Okay, so I only have two there. I'm going to have extras of some of these triangles, so I'm putting them out of the way so that I don't get them mixed up while I am sewing. So two of those, and two of those, and two of these, and then we will, yes, we use those in the other step. Okay, so half square triangles first, and then I can iron that. So get my iron turned on, get the box out of the way. Okay, I think we are, I thought we were ready to sew, but I need to reset up my machine because I was binding this week and using green thread, so we need to get that out of there and turn it back to, I'm going to use my masterpiece. It's a gray color, 156. My mom had some extra spools of masterpiece. It's a piecing thread. 50 weight. So it's, the bigger the number, the thinner the thread. So 50 weight is going to be a little bit lighter than the 40 weight Aurifil. I usually use the, no, this I guess is a 50 weight. Also the orange cone of Aurifil. is my alternate. Something feels sticky in there. Oh, I was wondering why it felt weird to thread my machine. It was because I hadn't taken the other thread. Dawn, wonderful creative minds in the same groove. I love it. She's also binding with green thread. So the nice thing about cotton cuts is that the blocks are all pre-cut, so they go together really nicely once you get started. And I'm probably going to run out of bobbin thread at some point, so I should get ready and wind one now before I start. That would be smart. It would have been smart to get this all set up before I was live, but I have a teal. I'll substitute a teal later if I run out, when I run out. But I'm planning to sew all day tomorrow, so I need to load those bobbins up. Okay. Starting to stitch. Paula is asking when I said I was going to sew all day. I'm not going to be live the whole time. I am going to be live at 10 a.m. Arizona time, which is mountain. And I've got a fun, scrappy block I'm calling four-wheeling. I'm sure it's been around for a while, but I just came up with this idea for a set number of pieces. Check out my community page. You can get the basic instructions tonight and gather some fabric if you want to sew along with us. Easy scrap pattern from 2.5-inch strips. So I hope you'll join us. Whoops, I hit the wrong button there. Let me show that one. Okay. So those details will be scrolling along the bottom. So yes, I rarely stay up till midnight. So I am planning to get up and sew in the morning. So do your cities do any kind of ball drop craziness? We, years ago, Tostitos sponsored the Fiesta Bowl, which is held football game college bowl series here in Phoenix. And they would do a tortilla chip drop across town, but I never went to that. And Prescott, Arizona, which used to be the state capital when we were first, a territory. It's a cute little western town. They've got a really nice courthouse stone building on a really pretty square in the center of town, and they do a boot drop, so a cowboy boot. And I've heard that's a lot of fun. Maybe someday my husband and I will be adventurous enough to go. We like that area for camping, and if we could brave the weather. But I was looking back in my journal, and we went camping in January of 2025. Froze our butts off. It was so cold. Yes, Paula, join us. We will be your quilt guild. You're a member of the True Blue crew. No formal meetings, no dues. So just come and hang out. And I think Flagstaff, another Arizona town up in the mountains, they do some kind of, I don't know if it's a pine cone drop. Yeah, Amanda, are you going to have some, the American flag with some soundtrack like they used to do when I was a kid, and the TV stations would stop broadcasting late at night because Amanda's saying she's not going to probably make it to midnight. So, okay, so I've got my triangles. And I've got a nifty little thread cutter when you chain piece. Notice on my workspace, I just set it up, and there's a little blade on the top, and you can just cut it. I had one of those really nice, they're called Blade Saver thread cutters. And it's this nice little small round doohickey thing that you put your used rotary cutter blades in and can do the same kind of cutting. But I don't know where I put it. The last time I cleaned up, I did a little bit too good of a job. Okay, and so then now I can spin around, and you can just see, if you're looking over in the workspace section, I'm waving my hand. This colorful little patch is my brand new chair. My mom got me an Arrow sewing chair for Christmas. And that is very nice. It swivels, and it's on rollers. I have carpet here in my sewing room, so I don't really need the roller aspect of it too well, but and I didn't have my iron turned on very hot. That's weird. Let's see how long it takes. Not very long for that little Oliso travel iron to heat up. And I hate it when the colors, when they want me to press towards the light color when it's paired up with a dark, but it will make sense at some later stage of the pattern, so I'm going to follow directions. Okay, and what is that first one goes to? And I was, we were talking the other day about, well, we went to the Desert Botanical Gardens. It's a park here in Phoenix, and they have all sorts of desert plants. It's really, really nice. And they were doing this really cool exhibit where a group of artists, people, took it was almost like time-lapse photography about the plants, and like they had and then so they put them on big screens. It was this whole big, digital art exhibit. And so that's where we were walking around talking, and I was talking about the zoo. My daughter mentioned the aquarium, and that got me thinking, because this is the Under the Sea Mystery. I should take my quilt to the aquarium for a photo shoot when we're all done. So look for that. I like to do my final reveal with some appropriate scenery that goes with the theme. And I'll have to find a fish pantograph to use to quilt it. It gives me, I still have a few months. This is clue 6 of 10. So in April, we will be ready for the reveal. So you can mark your calendars. And of course, I will be talking about that big event when we reveal the mystery, because right now we're just sewing random units together. Okay, and so then these need to just be made into columns, and I need to lay them out so that I have all the fabrics going in the right direction, and all the slants are going to go the same way, but it's just the colors, and then this makes a parallelogram. So we have a nice blue blade there. Whenever I see that, I always think star points or pinwheel somewhere. That's going to probably be a central element when we get things done. Okay. Yeah, so let me turn back around and get going here. William is in the house, my so-called life. Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Eve, since you're even further west than I am. Okay. And I have to remember which fabrics are touching, so when I tear them up, I sew the right edges together. What's on the menu? Does anybody have special stuff for New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? Every so often, my mom gets motivated and makes Cornish pasties for New Year's. What is it? Black-eyed peas? Is that you're supposed to start? Or my daughter does the 12 grapes for good fortune and love in the new year. I'm hoping there are some grocery stores open tomorrow, because I was not, I didn't really have time today between work and getting home for my live stream. I couldn't stop at the grocery store, but I want to make a lasagna. That's my dish when I have a stretch of time at home that I can be in the kitchen. My husband got some really good steaks, nice and thick. He's going to grill tonight. And we decided we'd prefer like Prosecco, a sweeter sparkling wine than champagne. So we got our bottle to toast at probably at 8:30 before we crash for the night. Oh yes, William, we're waiting for that rain to move from California over here to Arizona. Oh, Dawn, we're matching again. We had the binding and now we have the lasagna. Chloe's here. Good to see you. Yes, Lori, I love the Rose Parade. I would love to go over, it should be an easy trip, go over and see the floats ahead of time. I think you can walk through the warehouses where they're all put together. That would be fun. The last few years, I haven't turned it on because we just have basic cable, and there's so many commercials, and the announcers just fill the air with idiotic commentary. And I know HGTV for a while was broadcasting like just a static camera start to finish and just announcing the name of the organization that made the float and, whatever category they won in. I would much prefer that kind of commentary than to see, to whoever's starring in a new CBS show or whatever. Paula, Dollar General. I'm not sure they have the ingredients I need for lasagna, but I will keep that in mind. Maybe I can find it, on YouTube somewhere. Just find a basic, I love seeing the bands and doing all those fancy turns and things. Okay, so I'm on to another section. I don't need those. Those are for something. Those are going to be the sides of my flying geese. I suppose I could get them in the right position now. But I need to do a 4-patch, it looks like, with, nope. There will be my flying geese with that big triangle, so I can get that ready. And then I need C and D. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And then just for the next. Okay, so I'm making a 4-patch with these. Oh, and look at, they weren't even planning, but they managed to fussy cut almost a whole flower for me. And I'm always moving on to the next clue. And then I'll be able to chain piece and iron all in one step. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I am 1 square short. So did I? Nope. I did not. We did need 4 of those. Yeah. I only had 3 of my squares of that lighter fabric. So what to do when Cotton Cuts doesn't send you all of your pieces? You can email them, customer service or support. Look on the website. They will say they have an email address. Obviously, tonight they're not going to answer the email, but I've done it in the past, and I had my replacement fabric within just a week or so. But what I can do, excuse me, they sent along what they call an oops kit. And these are just like fat 8s, I think. And I need this one. And then I also need my. So I'm using one of my other squares as my. Things are falling. Craziness. Okay. And then I can just cut myself a new piece from my oops fabric. And fat 8s are 1/8 of a yard. Cut the like half of a fat quarter. So they're 9 by 20. So you have plenty of fabric. And Sean over at The Guy Who Sews had a great idea, a challenge. Make a block from your Oops kit if you enjoy the mystery quilt and do several of them as I have. So I'll have to see if I have the Oops kit from the last one. And then I can make a block from all of my Cotton Cuts quilts. And, within a few years, I will have enough to make my own. Or you can use the Oops kit for a pillow or something. So let me iron that little corner that I'm going to need to cut. And then reach across, stretch. Not the most flattering angle to be showing on television, but children, avert your eyes. Oh no, and now I'm throwing things. I have to go off camera to rescue that one. I'm just going to cut a little piece out of that and make sure it's square. Okay, excuse me. Motion warning, motion warning. Rescue the fabric. Okay, now here. I guess that doesn't wobble too much. It's just my seeing all my various body parts go across the camera. Oh, weather report. Amanda says it's snowing and windy in Indiana. Yes, you can just stay home for the weekend. I'm grunting and groaning as I move around here because my chair it's like pushed up against one side of the cutout for the desk that I keep my sewing machine on. And yeah, so I have to kind of do funky things to wiggle around and get out of when I turn my chair. Got the other two ready for the 4-patch. Just a quick little iron here, and that crashing you're hearing is the light I told you about. So I am going to, it's blinding me every time I look over to that side. So we'll turn that off. And obviously my cutting was not the same as cotton cuts because I've got a bunch to trim, but that is okay. We'll it's going to be just a little bit scant. Did you get any sewing gifts for Christmas this year? I told you I got a new chair and I got some fabric. I'll have to do add that to the recap video. I'm so behind on all my YouTube plans. But Wednesday night sew and chat is the one thing you can count on from me. Okay, so I did. Those are going to sew to those. In the meantime, do these. There is the next component of the block, and it goes right there. So we're going to have a big chunk of matching fabrics, which is nice when you're trying to line things up. I don't know quite how that will come together in the final block, or the final quilt, but that's a question for another day. And these seams nest right here, so that it's wonderful. And then my second one did not. So maybe I pressed that in. No, that was the way they wanted it. So I don't know. Maybe I got my 4 patches rotated wrong so that that seam didn't, the second seam here, this seam is not nesting. They're both going in the same direction, which occasionally happens. Okay, so that section is done. Then we do another 4 patch with our squares. So this is the first portion of the clue. Hello, so-and-so. I'm not making that up. That's her username. This is making me happy. On this pair, I get to sew to press to the dark. So always follow your pressing instructions for the mystery quilt. And then I can nest those seams. That behind me to press, and then I do have these flying geese for the last bit. one 4-patch done, but I need to finish up my flying geese before I can do anything with that. And give this again was part 1 of the clue. Make sure those two match. Okay. Press the corners of my flying geese. And then 2 more triangles on those. Okay, there's that one. Yes, thank you, Chloe. She says there are beautiful colors in this colorway. Yes, I am loving. Okay, like this is my favorite combination right here because you've got that really, really pretty dark blue, navy blue, and that watercolor batik. I love this style of batik where there's really no pattern. It's just the watercolor dye. Thanks for being here, Paula. Hope to see you tomorrow. So-and-so says she has lots of quilts planned for 2026. I've got, let's see, and I will share more of these in the coming weeks because we will definitely be doing them as group projects here on YouTube. A storm at sea with an ocean turtle motif and the Starry Night nativity pattern from So Kind of Wonderful. So if you want to learn curves, practice curves with us, that is coming up. Excuse me. Talking to yourself, you really end up losing your voice. Okay, so one, who's making resolutions for New Year's? I suppose we could talk about this on the live stream tomorrow. So if you still have some time to think about it, if you want to join in the discussion when we make our scrappy 4-wheel-in blocks tomorrow. Okay, and then we are going to put the points in on these flying geese. So we're just making one unit like this, which also to me looks like a star is going to grow from this, that we'll put some of these well, we can't do it with that one. I'll find it. I may have to take a guess at this final layout, but okay. So I need to get the point of my flying geese lined up with the seam of my fabric. Ooh, I hit it right on the first time. I put that pin right through the point of my flying geese and it lined up almost exactly on the stitches. I'm feeling good here at the end of the year. Some people hate making flying geese. I don't mind it at all. Let's see, do I have any matching colors? I'm trying to find different fabrics for leader enders instead of this thread tab that I've got that's all used up. Let's go in. Oh, no, I was off a little bit on that. Woo, way off. I like to sew with my flying geese on top so that I can aim for that X. Okay, we are pressing towards the 4 patch. And there is our next unit. Like I said, depending on how all the pieces fit together, I could imagine we have some more flying geese in another unit that will match up here and make a star. So lots of fun imagining what this will be in the future. Yes, Paula, with the 4-wheeling pattern that I'm going to debut tomorrow, it will make a great leader ender project for 2026. So I am going to adjourn for the evening and see everybody back here at True Blue Quilts, 10 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow for a scrappy start to the new year. So grab your jelly roll strips. For the block, you need 20 2.5-inch squares and 4 2.5 by 8.5 rectangles. And those instructions are on the community page of the True Blue Quilts channel. I'll get written instructions ready tonight, maybe tomorrow morning before I go live, and we'll be able to send those out to folks that sign up live. And yeah, that is what we are doing. We're done with clue 6 of the puzzle mystery quilt, and we are ready for a fantastic start to the new year. Thank you so much for hanging out. Happy New Year to everyone, and we will see you soon. Take care.